Good afternoon, students. Welcome to our online session of our optical communication class. In the previous sessions, also we talk about the concepts related to the optical communication. In today's sessions, we are going to continue with the same concepts. In today's sessions, we are more concerned with our LED, how the LED is going to work. So, in the previous session, we talk about modulation capability of LED and how it is going to work. So, basically, light output from LED can be modulated by wideband information signal. The response time should be greater than 1 microseconds, sufficient for common applications. It is not suitable for communication applications such as where the responsible time should be less than 1 nanosecond, and modulation capability restricted by two parameters. One is diffusion capacitance, second is parasitic diode space charge capacitance. Okay. What is diffusion? Also we see C diffusion is equals to dq by dV. Q is nothing but change in number of minority carriers stored in outside the depletion region. When a change in voltage across the diode is dV, which is applied to the diffusion capacitance. Clear? So that is also we covered, so I'm not going into detail of it. Similarly, what is the parasitic diode space charge capacitance? The delay charge injection that is going to process by itself only. So it is equals to C is equals to epsilon A by D. So we know that for finding the capacitance, we'll apply this formula, right? How do we find that particular parasitic diode space charge capacitance? By using this formula. Next is emission response time due to this capacitance can be made negligible by anything by applying a small constant forward bias. If you apply a small amount of forward bias current also, it's going to be changed with respect to that. Next will be frequency response of LED. How do we get the frequency response? That is our main topic. So basically, the frequency response of LED can be obtained by considering two parameters. One is the derived current, another is the frequency omega. So derived current for that will be given as I of W is equals to I naught 1 plus W tau effective square whole power minus 1 by 2. This is the formula for finding the derived current is modulated frequency with omega, the output optical intensity. If you want to find intensity value, we can able to find by using this relation. What is I naught over here? I naught is nothing but intensity emitted at zero modulated frequency, and tau effective is nothing but effective carrier lifetime. We have discussed about the lifetime as well, right? So now how we see the graph of it? If you want to see frequency with respect to gain dB in decibel, if you want to find that, we can able to see frequency in gigahertz and decibel we are considering. So whenever we pass from the zero origin, we are taking the one first spectral line. It is what? Power spectra electrical components. What about this optical voltage spectrum? That is nothing but the optical parameter. Based on that, we get the slope like this. Okay. 3 dB electrical versus optical bandwidth. How do we obtain that? So basically for electrical bandwidth, we can find by using I in. I in nothing but the whatever the values we are giving, that is the input value, and I out, that is the output value. If you want to divide, if you want to plot output by input response, which is proportional to the out, we know, right? Power is nothing but voltage into current. If you want to write in terms of current, I square by R gets cancelled. So I naught I output square by I naught I in square. If you want to cross multiply, if you square on that both the terms, we can able to find electrical 3 dB bandwidth, which is output current, falls to 70.7% of peak value. Okay, we can able to find out this way. Next thing, for optical bandwidth, again we can fed I in and receive I out. So we can apply I in as well as I out. We can able to substitute this parameter, and we can able to plot P out by P in, which is proportional to I out by I in, right? If you want to remove this square, we can able to write in this way for the optical. Clear? Next is we can plot this both electrical 3 dB. What is the electrical bandwidth we found, students? So electrical bandwidth, if you want to find 3 dB of bandwidth with current, falls to 70.7% in terms of electrical. What about the in optical? In optical, it is power fall in terms of 50% of the peak value. So that's the difference of both the bandwidth. And here we do have fictitiously given optical bandwidth which is much greater than the electrical bandwidth. Clear? So both bandwidth are normally mentioned to avoid confusions. Clear? To avoid the confusions, both has been obtained in this way. Next, electrical bandwidth of LED. How do you obtain the electrical bandwidth? It is a frequency band over which P of omega is equals to P of O by 2. If you want to find I square of omega, then I can write as I square of 0 by 2. By using these two parameters, we can substitute I of omega, and omega is equal to delta omega. Delta omega is nothing but 1 by t effective. Frequency is nothing but 1 by t, right? So same thing here we are considering. Change in the frequency, we can obtain 1 by tau effective. That is nothing but time period of lifetime period of that carrier. So high if the bandwidth if T effective is low. Obviously, when it is in numerator, this is in denominator. If the bandwidth is higher, then T effective must be lower. Then only it can get higher value. And vice versa for other. The effective carrier lifetime can be reduced by increasing the doping level in active region. If you increase the doping level in the active region, we can able to decrease. We can able to reduce by increasing the doping level in active region and controlling the injection carrier intensity. By doing these two parameters, we can able to reduce the effective carrier lifetime. So next we are going to see the transition time. Okay, so before that, note it down this parameter.